Hello everybody and welcome to the National Sluggers League 2024 Playoff Bracket Reveal Show. The playoffs are coming up and we have had a great regular season. It's our third season now, so let's get into the first matchup. As the 1 seed, going 13-4 with the Birdo Bows, it's Andrew. He repeats as the Night Division champion and 3-peats as the 1 seed. He went 7-2 in Night Division, going 6-2 against the Day Division as well. He lost 2 games last week, which ties his career high losses in a week from week 2 of 2023, where he lost to Garrett and Will. His all-time playoff record is 7-1, the lone loss coming to Garrett in the semifinals of 2022, where we did a best-of-3 series. His wins this year, he had 2 against Wilson, 3 against Queen, 2 against Garrett, 1 against Will, 2 against Joe, 1 against Jacob, and 2 against Matt. And his losses were against Wilson, Jacob, Will, and Garrett. Coming in at the 8 seed with a 5-12 record, Matt. He had the Diddy Monkeys this year, finishing 4th in Day Division, which he falls from 3rd from last year. He falls from a 5 seed to an 8 seed from last year to this year. His first win this season was in week 3. He only had 4 games combined in week 1 and 2, but still a not very good performance. He went 3-6 in his division this year and 2-6 against the Night Division. His all-time playoff record is 1-1. The win coming from Garrett last year in the 4-5 matchup, and the loss coming from Andrew in the semifinals last year. Matt beat Jacob 2 times this year, along with beating Wilson, Tween, and Will. His losses were getting swept by Joe, losing twice to Will, losing once to Jacob, twice to Andrew, twice to Garrett, once to Tween and Wilson. This game will take place at Luigi Mansion in the night. The series is 4-0 all time in favor of Andrew. 1-0 in the playoffs, which was, as I mentioned earlier, last year in the semifinals. Andrew was able to win 3-2 in an epic 7-inning battle. Andrew is 2-0 in 1 versus 8 matchups in the history of our league, and both times he was the 1 seed. Matt is 1-0 at Luigi Mansion in the playoffs. Last year against Garrett, he hit the walk-off home run in the bottom of the 7th with King K. Rule to win that one 1-0. We head to our next matchup. The 4 seed. First overall pick, Donkey Kong is their captain. DK Wilds.
Poop in my cupped hands. Poop in my cupped hands.
Wilson went 8-9. 3rd in Night Division, which is better than last year where he got 4th. And he improved from the 8th seed to the 4th seed. This year he went 5-4 in his division, the Night Division, and he went 3-5 against the Day Division. He won half of his games of the season last week, going 4-1. His all-time playoff record is 0-2. His wins this year were sweeping Tween, defeating Garrett, Andrew, Joe, Matt, and Jacob all once. His losses this year were losing twice to Andrew, twice to Garrett, twice to Will, and losing once to Joe, Matt, and Jacob. He'll be taking on Waluigi Spitballs. 7-10, it's Tween. The newcomer, 4th in Night Division in his first season. 7-10 is not a terrible record to get last year division at. Would have got 2nd in the Day Division. He was a 5 seed by winning the head-to-head tiebreaker over Will, so both teams finished at 7-10. He only finished 1-8 in his division, but he had 6 wins and only 2 losses against the Day Division. He went 3-6 last week after starting off with a 500 record of 4-4. After missing week 3, he had a lot of games in week 4. He did go 5-0 in the play-in tourney, so when something's on the line, he has been able to perform, but he hasn't been doing too hot in this regular season. His wins this year were beating Will twice, Jacob twice, Matt and Joe once, and defeating Garrett once, his lone Night Division win. His losses were against Andrew 3 times, Wilson 3 times, Garrett twice, Joe once, Matt once. The game will take place at DK ninth. The series is 3-0 all time. All three this season, of course, is Tween's first season. So Wilson has swept Tween this year. Wilson is 0-1 in 4 versus 5 seed matchups. As before, he lost to Garrett back in 2022. And Tween told me today he does not like Donkey Kong Jungle very much, especially at night with the earthquake gimmick.
What is happening?
Our next matchup, the 3 versus 6. He got Mario this year. I know he wanted it. 11-6 record. It's Garrett. Garrett having one heck of a year. He's playing ball this year. He's always been around the middle. This year he's kind of up towards the top. He got second in night division, which is the same as last year, but a much higher winning percentage. He moves up from the 4 seed now to the 3. He has gone up 1 seed every year since being the 5 seed back in 2022. He went 5-4 in his division, the night division, and a good 6-2 against Day. His all-time playoff record is 2-3. As I mentioned earlier, losing Matt in last year's first round and losing twice against Andrew in the best of 3 semifinals of 2022. His wins this year have been beating Tween twice, Wilson twice, Andrew once, Will, Matt, and Jacob all twice. His losses this year are Andrew twice, Joe twice, Wilson and Tween both once. And he will be facing off against, at a record of 7-10, Bowser as his captain. It's Will. Will is second in Day Division, which is the same as last year. Even with this weak record of 7-10, the Day Division was not that good this year, opposite of last year. He moves down from a 3 seed that he had last year down to the 6 now. He's done 2-7 the past 2 weeks, so he's definitely in a slump. But he went 4-5 against his division, the Day Division, and 3-5 against Night. His all-time playoff record is 1-3, all 3 losses coming against Jacob. He's beat Matt twice this year, along with Jacob, Joe, Andrew once, and Wilson twice. He lost to Joe twice, Jacob twice, Matt and Andrew once, Tween twice, and Garrett twice. This game will be taking place at Yoshi Stadium, Yoshi Park, nighttime. The series is 3-1 all time in favor of Garrett. No past playoff meetings between these two. They've always been on opposite sides of the bracket, and neither have made the championship. Will is 1-1 in 3 vs 6 seed matchups. He won as the 6 seed back in 2022 against Joe and lost as the 3 seed last year against Jacob. And now our final playoff matchup. With an 11-6 record, and he and Yoshi as his captain and his stadium, it's Joe.
Come on, yeah.
Yo,
That's my
of
baby.
course, that's too easy.
Let's go.
We did it, Mama. We made a playoff. We made a playoff.
Joe repeats as the Day champion and will stay at the 2 seed again. He won the tiebreaker over Garrett for the 2 seed from his head-to-head sweep on him in the regular season. Joe has been heating up, going 8-2 in the last 2 weeks with losses against Jacob and Andrew. He's undefeated in the playoff games that go to extra innings. He has never had an away playoff game, and that will continue through this year. If he wins, he'll have home in the semifinals and neutral in the championship. He went 7-2 against his division this year and 4-4 against the Ninth. All-time playoff record is 2-2. He beat Matt 3 times this year, Will twice, Jacob twice, Garrett twice, along with Wilson and Tween once. He lost to Jacob and Matt once, Andrew twice, and Tween and Wilson once. He'll be facing off against Jacob, who went 6-11 with Wario as his captain. Jacob got 3rd in the Day Division this year, which is higher than he got last year, where he got last. But his 7th seed is lower from the 6th seed he had last year. Jacob has made the semifinals every year, so let's see if he can continue that this year. His all-time playoff record is 4-2. One of those losses being to Joe last year in the semifinals. This year he's beaten Will twice, Matt, Joe, Wilson, and Andrew all once. And he's lost to Joe twice, Matt twice, Will once, Garrett and Tween twice, and then Andrew and Wilson. This game will be taking place at Yoshi Park during the day. The series is 5-2 all-time in favor of Joe, including 1-0 in the playoffs, which was last year's semifinals, as I have mentioned. Joe is 1-0 in the 2 versus 7 matchup as the 2 seed last year against Karsten in a 14-inning battle. Jacob is 1-0 in the 2 versus 7 matchup as the 7 seed back in 2022 against Karsten. That was the year he made the championship. The playoffs are this Sunday,
March 24th.
at 1 p.m. Central Time, quarterfinals, semifinals, all-star game, then championship, along with maybe a fan all-star game if there's enough audience. Andrew has won the last 2. We want to see you fill out your bracket. If you're a fan that doesn't know us personally, you can join our Discord and we'll have a bracket there, or you can message us on Instagram or TikTok and we'll help you out there. If you know us personally and you don't want to do all that, you can just text me and I will send you the bracket.
Once again, the championship will be held at Bowser's Castle, just like the last 2 years. We'd love to see you in attendance in the chat for our playoffs this Sunday. Thank you for watching The Bracket Show.
It's through. You get that.
Yes!